Every woman carries within her a universe of power, potential, and purpose. But the truth is, power doesn't just arrive, it's built. Purpose isn't found, it's chosen. And potential doesn't blossom by chance, it's nurtured through discipline, consistency, and mindset. As someone who's walked red carpets and cried alone in hotel rooms, let me tell you, mastery starts with the daily. Not the glamorous, not the grand, but the daily. These 10 habits aren't just rituals, they are weapons. They are the foundations of self-respect, of ambition, of peace, and of drive. Whether you're a mother, a CEO, a student, or someone simply trying to figure it all out, these habits are your daily toolkit. Own them, and you won't just survive this world, you'll shape it. Let's go. Habit 1. Own your mornings. How you start your day is how you command your life. And no, I don't mean scrolling your phone before your feet even touch the floor. I mean a conscious decision to lead yourself before the world gets a chance to lead you. When you own your mornings, you build momentum. That means no more snoozing your dreams, literally and figuratively. A powerful woman starts her day with presence. Even if it's just 10 minutes, create space to breathe, to reflect, to center yourself. Maybe it's journaling your goals, maybe it's prayer or meditation. Maybe it's a quick sweat session that gets your blood pumping and your brain wired for strength. You don't need a perfect morning routine, you just need an intentional one. Personally, I've faced days where I felt lost, overwhelmed, or exhausted by expectations. But the days I carved out a strong morning, I performed stronger, I made bolder decisions, I felt less reactive and more grounded. You don't wait for clarity, you create it with routine. Most importantly, owning your morning tells your brain and your spirit, I'm in charge here. Before the deadlines, the opinions, the drama, the doubts, you've already won because you showed up for yourself. That kind of energy is magnetic, it draws respect, it radiates power, so start simple, wake up a little earlier. Drink that water, move your body, set a small goal, read something that feeds your mind, do something that reminds you that your life is your stage, and you're the star every single day. Habit 2. Speak to yourself like a queen every day. Women face 100 voices telling them who to be, what to wear, how to act, and what not to say. But the loudest voice in your life is your own. If that voice is cruel, doubtful, or constantly apologizing, how can you ever rise? You must master the habit of speaking to yourself with love, power, and respect. I'm not talking about false positivity or ignoring real struggles. I'm talking about becoming your own source of encouragement, your own best friend, and your own cheerleader. Because if you wait for the world to validate you, you'll be waiting forever. Start noticing how you talk to yourself in the mirror after a mistake or when something doesn't go your way. Are you shaming yourself? Comparing yourself, diminishing your worth? If so, it's time to interrupt that pattern. Start saying, I'm still learning. Say, I'm proud of how far I've come. Say, I'm not perfect, but I am powerful. Because guess what? You become what you repeatedly say to yourself. There were times in my journey, whether I was on a film set in another language, facing rejection, or battling insecurities, when I wanted to shrink, but I learned to talk back to that doubt. I learned to say, you've done hard things before. You've got this. And every time I did, I grew a little more unshakable. Words shape our inner world, and your inner world shapes everything else. How you carry yourself, how you handle criticism, and how you set boundaries. A woman who speaks to herself like a queen walks like one, talks like one, commands like one. She doesn't ask for permission to shine, she just does. So create a daily ritual. Maybe it's affirmations. Maybe it's writing a gratitude list. Maybe it's catching that self-judgment mid-thought and choosing kindness instead. Speak power into your mornings, compassion into your mistakes, and confidence into your goals. And remember, no one has the right to define you, not even that doubtful voice in your head. Because when you learn to speak to yourself like a queen, the world will follow your lead. Habit 3. Set boundaries without apology. If there's one thing every powerful woman must master, it's the ability to say no without guilt and yes without fear. Boundaries aren't about keeping people out. They're about protecting the energy, peace, and purpose that matter most to you. And here's the truth. People will only respect the limits you respect for yourself. As women, we're often conditioned to be likable, to be accommodating, to overextend ourselves in relationships, in work, in life. We're told that setting boundaries is selfish, rude, or too much. But I want to tell you something loud and clear. Boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They let in what is healthy and keep out what is toxic. And they are a form of self-respect. I've had to learn this the hard way. There were times I said yes to things that drained me, agreed to roles that didn't align with my values, or allowed people access to my heart who didn't deserve it. Why? Because I didn't want to disappoint anyone, but in the process, I kept disappointing myself. That's when I realized, no one is going to draw the line for you. You have to do it, and you have to do it without apology. Setting boundaries might mean turning your phone off after a certain hour. It might mean telling a friend, I love you, but I can't carry your pain right now. It might mean asking for what you need in a relationship, walking away from a toxic situation, or declining that one extra task at work that tips you into burnout. Whatever it is, the power is in the clarity and the consistency. And here's the beautiful part. Boundaries don't push the right people away, they attract them. The ones who belong in your life will respect your space, your time, your truth. The ones who leave were never meant to stay. So get comfortable saying no. Practice it. Honor it. Be bold about protecting your mental health, your time, your body, your values. This world doesn't need more women who burn themselves out for approval. It needs women who burn bright because they protect their fire. Set your boundaries like a queen, not with anger, but with elegance, not with fear, but with strength. Because your peace is priceless, and it's time the world started treating it that way. Habit 4. Dress like the woman you want to become. Let's get one thing straight. Style isn't shallow. Presentation isn't vanity. How you dress is an extension of how you feel, how you think, and how seriously you take yourself. It's not about labels or trends. It's about intention. When you dress with purpose, you move with purpose. I've stood in front of cameras all over the world, from Hollywood to Bollywood, but my relationship with style has never been about impressing others. It's been about embodying confidence. Clothes can be armor, they can be a celebration, they can be a declaration of who you are, even before you say a word. So why not use them? Every morning you have a choice to dress like you're hiding or dress like you're rising. And this doesn't mean expensive outfits or full glam every day. It means honoring yourself enough to show up well, whether it's jeans and a crisp white shirt, a bold red lip that makes you feel fearless, or your favorite scent that reminds you of your worth. When you step into a room, the way you carry yourself sends a message. Are you shrinking or standing tall? Are you blending in or owning your uniqueness? Think about the woman you're becoming. Is she bold? Is she elegant? Is she fierce? Then start dressing like her, because your outfit should reflect your mindset, and your mindset should reflect your vision. When I was younger, there were days I felt insecure, uncertain, or not enough for the spaces I was entering. But I learned that if I walked in with my shoulders back, head high, and style that made me feel unstoppable, I started to believe in myself a little more, and when I believed it, others did too. It's not about impressing the world. It's about reminding yourself that you deserve to take up space. Your appearance doesn't define your worth, but it does influence your energy, so use it. Dress not just for where you are, but for where you're going. So tomorrow, when you're picking out what to wear, ask yourself, what would the woman I want to become wear today? Then wear it, walk in it, own it, because sometimes the first step to becoming her is dressing like her. Habit 5. Feed your mind like you feed your body. A strong woman doesn't just work on her appearance. She builds a mind that's sharp, curious, and unshakable. Your thoughts become your words become your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. So the question is, what are you feeding your mind every single day? We're constantly consuming social media, gossip, noise, opinions. But not all information is nourishment. Some of it is mental junk food. It looks tempting, but it weakens your clarity, your creativity, and your confidence. That's why mastering the habit of feeding your mind intentionally is a game changer. Just like you wouldn't live on chips and soda, you can't build an empowered life on empty content. Start by choosing inputs that challenge you to grow. Read books that expand your thinking. Listen to podcasts that inspire and educate. Follow people who speak to your vision, not your insecurities. Take 5 minutes a day to learn something new, whether it's a quote that motivates you or a video that teaches a new skill. Every drop adds up. When I was trying to break into different industries, music, movies, tech, I didn't have all the answers. But I did have a hunger to learn. I read scripts, watched performances, studied business. I trained my mind like a muscle, because when you train your brain to stay sharp, nothing can catch you off guard. The world will always try to tell you what to think, but when your mind is strong, you choose for yourself. You stop being a passive consumer and become an active creator. You form your own opinions. You ask better questions. You trust your instincts. That's where real confidence lies. Not in knowing everything, but in knowing you can figure it out. So treat your mind with the same respect you give your body. Don't fill it with fear, comparison, or self-doubt. Fill it with strength, perspective, and truth. When your mind is well fed, your voice becomes more powerful, your decisions become more precise, and your presence becomes unforgettable. Remember, what you feed grows. Feed your fears, they grow. Feed your faith, your vision, your brilliance. And that's what expands. A woman who masters her mind can master anything. Habit 6. Keep your inner circle fierce and loyal. The people you surround yourself with will either stretch you or shrink you. They'll either fan your flames or pour water on your dreams. That's why one of the most powerful habits a woman can master is being intentional about her inner circle. You don't just attract greatness, you protect it. You don't chase validation, you choose alignment. Every woman needs a tribe, not just for celebration, but for grounding, for honesty, for those tough love conversations when you're slipping into self-doubt. And for the cheering squad when you're climbing new heights. These aren't the loudest people in the room. They're the realest. They don't compete with you, they root for you. And they don't just show up when you win, they show up when you cry. Early in my career, I learned that not everyone who claps is happy for you, and not everyone who's close deserves a front row seat in your life. I had to unlearn the habit of keeping people around out of loyalty to history. Your history with someone is not more important than your peace. It's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to say, I love you, but we're walking different paths now. Growth requires space, and sometimes silence. Your inner circle should reflect your standards, not your fears. Keep people close who push you, who hold you accountable, who speak life into your goals when you forget them yourself. People who remind you who you are, not who you were. And most importantly, people who are building something themselves. Energy is contagious. If your circle is full of builders, dreamers, and doers, you will rise with them. At the same time, be that friend for someone else. Don't just demand loyalty. Give it. Don't just look for support, offer it. Build friendships on depth, not just convenience. Real power isn't built in isolation. It's built in connection, collaboration, and community. Audit your circle. Make it tight. Make it true. Make it sacred. Because the woman you're becoming doesn't have time for drama, envy, or passive aggression. She needs clarity, elevation, and truth. In the end, your vibe attracts your tribe, but your standards keep them there. Choose wisely, because behind every unstoppable woman is a circle that refuses to let her fall. Habit 7. Move your body like it's your birthright. Your body is not just a vessel, it's a powerhouse. It holds your strength, your resilience, your emotions, your intuition. That's why every woman must master the habit of movement, not to fit into a dress or please a standard, but to remind yourself every single day that you are alive, capable, and in control of your energy. Movement is not about punishment, it's about celebration. It's about reconnecting with your body, honoring its abilities, and releasing what no longer serves you. Whether it's a run, a dance, a stretch, or a slow walk in nature, when you move your body, you shift your mindset. You clear the fog, you reset your power. I've had days where my confidence felt low, where stress wrapped around my neck like a chain. But the moment I got moving, even for 10 minutes, it changed everything. That sweat, it's not just physical, it's emotional release, it's mental detox. It's the moment you reclaim your space in the world. This isn't about having a perfect fitness routine. It's about consistency. It's about making the decision to move, especially when you don't feel like it, because discipline builds trust with yourself, and when you trust yourself, you stop depending on the world to validate you. Your body carries you through everything, dreams, heartbreaks, late nights, new beginnings. It deserves to be cared for, not hated, not criticized, but honored. Don't wait for illness or breakdown to remember that. Make movement a daily ritual, a sacred habit. Let it be your therapy, your empowerment, your way of saying, I am not stuck, I can shift, I can rise. And here's the truth, a woman in motion is a woman in transformation. When you move, you activate possibility. You remind yourself that progress isn't about speed, it's about momentum. And some of the most powerful shifts in life begin with one simple step. So don't make excuses. Make time, whether it's 5 minutes or 50, just move, because a strong woman isn't just made in the mind. She's forged in the fire of her own body's power. Stand tall, stretch wide, walk bold. This world wasn't meant to hold you. It was meant to feel your presence. Habit 8. Celebrate yourself without waiting for permission. One of the most powerful habits a woman can master is the ability to celebrate herself, loudly, unapologetically, and without waiting for approval. We've been conditioned to downplay our wins, to shrink our joy, to dim our light so others feel comfortable. But guess what? Playing small doesn't serve the world, and it certainly doesn't serve the woman you're meant to be. Every day, find something to celebrate. Maybe you hit a goal, maybe you stood up for yourself, maybe you simply got out of bed on a hard day. Whatever it is, honor it. Acknowledge your growth. Praise your effort. Stop waiting for birthdays, promotions, or someone else's applause to feel proud. You are your own validation. I've walked stages around the world, but some of my proudest celebrations happened in private moments. After a tough audition, a silent breakthrough, or a personal boundary kept. No crowd, no claps, just me looking in the mirror saying, "You did that." And that's where real confidence begins, in how you treat yourself when no one's watching. Celebrating yourself doesn't mean you think you're better than anyone. It means you know your worth and you're not afraid to honor it. And let me tell you, a woman who claps for herself is unstoppable, because she doesn't wait for love. She creates it. She doesn't chase praise. She knows she's enough. Start small. Write down one thing you're proud of each night. Speak your wins out loud. Dance it out in your room if you want to. Whatever celebration looks like for you. Make it a daily ritual, because when you acknowledge your power, you grow it. And here's the magic. When you celebrate yourself, you give other women permission to do the same. You become a walking mirror of possibility. You stop feeding jealousy and start creating community. One woman's joy doesn't steal yours. It amplifies it. Let's be done with guilt and silence. Let's normalize confidence. Let's normalize pride without arrogance. So today, I want you to celebrate something about yourself. Not tomorrow, not when it's perfect, now, because your story, your strength, your effort, it matters. And if no one else says it, let me be the first. I'm proud of you. Now say it to yourself. Habit 9. Stay rooted in your why. In a world full of distractions, noise, and shifting expectations, a woman must master the habit of coming back, again and again, to her why. That deep inner reason behind everything she does, because when the pressure rises, when people doubt you, when your energy is low, your why is what keeps you going. Your why is your anchor. It's the heartbeat of your purpose. It's not about fame or validation or proving people wrong. It's deeper than ambition. It's the mission that fuels you when motivation fades. And the truth is, every dream will come with resistance. Every level will bring new challenges. Without a strong why, it's easy to quit, but with it, you become unshakable. I've had many roles: actor, singer, producer, philanthropist. But what drives me isn't the title. It's impact, it's representation. It's knowing that every time I show up, I'm breaking doors open for someone else. That's my why. And when the work gets tough, when the schedule gets insane, when I hear no for the 100th time, that's what keeps me grounded. You need to find yours. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your younger self, maybe it's a cause, a legacy, or simply the vision of the life you know you're meant to live. Write it down, say it out loud. Keep it close, and when life gets chaotic, return to it, because your why isn't just about direction, it's about power. Don't get lost in the hustle and forget the heart. Don't let social media likes distract you from your truth. Stay rooted. Keep checking in with yourself. Why did I start this? Why does it matter? Who am I doing this for? And if your answer lights a fire in your chest, then that's your compass. And here's something I've learned. The most successful, fulfilled women are not the ones who have it all figured out. They're the ones who never stop reconnecting with their why. They pivot when needed. They evolve, but they don't drift. They stay anchored even when the storm comes. So protect your purpose. Write it on your mirror, wear it like perfume. Speak it into every action. Because when you live from your why, you don't just survive, you lead, you rise, and you leave a legacy. Habit 10. End your day with reflection. Not regret. The way you close your day is just as powerful as how you begin it. Too many women go to sleep with guilt, unfinished lists, and a mind racing with self-doubt. But a woman who is becoming unstoppable learns to end her day not with regret, but with reflection, gratitude, and grace. Reflection is where growth begins. It's how you pause, review, and realign. It's not about criticizing yourself, it's about checking in. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? Where did I show strength? What could I do differently tomorrow? These aren't judgment questions, they're empowerment questions. They help you see how far you've come and where you still want to go. Every night before I sleep, I try to carve out a few moments for stillness. Sometimes I journal, sometimes I pray, sometimes I just breathe deeply and ask myself, did I live today in alignment with who I want to be? That moment of honesty grounds me. Because even on chaotic days, even when everything goes sideways, that reflection reminds me I'm still becoming, and that's enough. Don't carry today's mistakes into tomorrow's dreams. Forgive yourself for what didn't get done. Celebrate what did. Recognize the tiny wins, the kind words you said, the hard decision you made, the boundary you honored. This is how confidence is built, not in the big, dramatic victories, but in the quiet recognition that you are showing up. Use this habit to recharge, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Light a candle, put on music, sip tea. Make your bedtime routine sacred. A woman who closes her day with intention sleeps better, wakes clearer, and lives more powerfully. She knows that rest isn't weakness, it's part of the strategy, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't dream if you're constantly in survival mode. So tonight, don't scroll until you fall asleep. Don't mentally beat yourself up for all the things you wish you did better. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of you. We're not perfect, but we're making progress. Say it like you mean it. Because you deserve peace, you deserve restoration, you deserve to wake up tomorrow ready to rise again. Mastering your nights is how you prepare for legendary mornings, so close the day like a queen, gracefully, consciously, and without apology.